Hi, welcome to the round 17 preview as the Blues we have another rematch coming up this week against the GWS Giants at Energy Stadium, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday night. It's the second time we're meeting the Giants. The first time we played the Giants was probably the first time it got real for me this year. I mean, I loved some of our early wins, particularly the first one against the Lions, but yeah, that I still remember very vividly. That third quarter, pure dominance. We played De Koning and Pitto on the day at Marvel Stadium, and what we were able to do and just pull away from the Giants, who at the time were one of, if not the form teams of the competition, was super impressive. And it was that premiership quarter conversation that we have had from time to time this season, which is great. As it stands right now, Carlton, obviously, we are in better form than the Giants. The Giants have gone through a little bit of a lull. That's footy. It happens. You go through ups and downs. But this one's different. I mean, they really need to win, the Giants. And so I lean into that a little bit. I'm not taking this game lightly. Can't take any game lightly. I just think what's different from this week to last week is I didn't really see a way in which we would lose to Richmond, and I was confident with that. This week, the Giants are good when they want to be, or when they can be. They are good. Having said that, still got that confidence that we're better, particularly with some of the individuals that they rely heavily on. I mean, I know what it's like for us and how different we look when Jacob Wiedering doesn't play. So you look at their version with Sam Taylor, he's not going to play again. It's just different for them. We just saw Josh Kelly injured, unfortunately, for about a month. So, they're a little bit banged up. We're seemingly coming into a period of time right now where, selection headaches are here. We have had the ruck conversation all season. Is it one? Is it both? If it's both, which game? Is it this one? Is it next week? It's amazing. I don't really care too much what the right or wrong answer is, because I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer. But I think zooming out, more importantly, the fact that we have the conversation about what's the best setup. Whereas last year, we didn't have that conversation. We weren't there yet. So that's awesome. And then, now we understand, Matt Cottrell's a test to play. So, I mean, are you bringing him straight in? Jack Martin's not far away. Our conversation with this team has evolved pretty rapidly over the last month or 5 weeks, I would say, because some of the guys in the side right now who I would, label as undroppable in this point in time are not the same names that we were talking about at the start of the year. I still remember pre-season this year, there wasn't a word seemingly spoken about Lachie Cowan, from the club. I wasn't hearing much. Now, I don't know if that was done by design, but, what he does now and his importance into the side, he's not the best player in the team yet, but the trust in him to do his role, which allows others to play a little bit further up the ground, I think is just vital. The trust that it allows Zach Williams to play with the freedom that he does going forward, I think is vital. And the trust in a guy like Chincotta. Those are three key names there where the real differences have emerged, particularly if you look at this game and the last time that we played. So we know that we're going to lose Kennedy. He unfortunately hurt his knee. It wasn't as serious as first feared. And I'm almost watching this repetition of history happening, but a little bit different. So Kennedy hurts his exact same knee last year, his exact same round. It was against Freo. Last year was a little bit more serious. This year seemingly gets through best case scenario, apart from not getting injured. Boyd, we've just dealt with the tribunal, the collision with the Richmond player, and we sat through a 4-hour stream. He got off. I remember the sling tackle against Port Adelaide, which had him suspended for 3 weeks in the past. So, similar-ish experience, but with a better outcome. I guess the next one is I hope Harry's okay, because last year we had a little incident with Harry and Walsh and the like. But yeah, I'm just noticing certain instances happening sort of in a repetitive cycle, but with a better outcome. So hopefully that means that there's a flag on the horizon for us. We'll make a prelim again. This time we'll make it through the granny and win the damn thing. But look, we're in a good spot as a team. It ultimately is the build, another story in the build to the end of the year. De Koning, I'm gonna guess, will come back into the team, given he was rested last week. I did mention at the start of this video, we did do the 2-ruck system with, Pito and De Koning the last time that we played. I think with Kennedy going out of the side, it lends us the ability to do it. Hewitt was the sub last week. Does he come back in as a full-time player? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the selection headache, it's a real selection headache. The discussions that we are now having on the channel, on all the shows, we're all sort of chopping and changing week to week seemingly, because the team is, touch wood, getting healthier, performing their roles, and it's just enjoyable. It's just honestly enjoyable, where hopefully in the middle of a special run, 5 in a row I think is significant, and we've just got to keep it up. We're a game and a half clear of second spot. It's all new. This is all new. I'm usually scrolling towards the bottom of the ladder to see, how many points are we from the 8? So this is, at this point in the year, this is new territory, and this is enjoyable territory. So that's what I'm pretty psyched about. Getting another game into Adam Chera, to have the luxury to sub him out last week, I think was good. But we'll see what happens. The Giants at home, they're a different proposition. It's a different energy in the crowd over there. I don't think I'll ever be going to that stadium again, if I'm honest. After 2021, I think for me that day was, that's a day that changed me, I think, forever, for the good. The story of evolution of all of us, as supporters and as beings, So that's a day that, I wish I didn't act the way I did on that day, but at the same time, without it, you don't learn the lesson. And this journey with this team is just a number of lessons. The team on the field, the team off the field, the fans during wins, during losses, we're all just adding these lessons to our experience. It's quite cool. So yeah, it's been a really different build-up this week because we've had the tribunal stream, and I think just another memory to add to the collection. There was 720 of us odd live at one point, just sitting there watching together, watching tweets come through from someone else who we would then read out on screen, because the reality is collectively, most if not all of you were probably going to be sitting around refreshing your profiles on Twitter or refreshing whatever website that you were on to get those updates. So it hasn't been lost on me how magical our connection is as a fan base. And one thing I think is going to be really critical, for our role to play as the fan base is that, with the connection, it's true. And it's not just be positive for the sake of being positive and looking at things through rose-colored glasses. It's just more around, I think the biggest criticism of this side in the past, and I hate referring to the past because I want to move on from it, but the lessons to be learned, and it hasn't yet happened collectively, but the application was the big issue. That's not an issue anymore, the application. We look at things now from a 4-quarter perspective. There's a bit more trust. I find week to week, more people get more trust. That's just the nature of the beast. Everyone's pain takes a different amount of time to heal. But I really do sense this period of time that we're stepping into now where it's okay, we can let it go. We can trust that they're doing the right things and they want it and they're desperate for it and they're hungry for it. And I think the biggest thing in the past was, do they really care? Well, I don't know if you can really doubt that anymore, because you look at the way in which they've improved, collectively working together. And if you can't see it, you can't see it. Whatever. But I see it. And I think a lot of us do see it. So yeah, I'm just so into making sure that when it turned and when it turns, we're ready. And I would hate for someone to be left behind who got stuck in this mentality of, oh, wasted my time, I didn't see it, it was right in front of me. So look, they're going okay. I feel like we might lose potentially, whether it's this week or in the future, and I'm a lot more at ease for that than ever, because I know now as a supporter, if you're really going to beat Carlton in right now, you have to be playing some level of football that's at a really high quality for 4 quarters, because we will absorb, we will counterpunch, we are really hard to beat at the moment. There are only a couple of teams that have done it, and those that did do it played very well or executed very well. I think, obviously the Sydney game at the SCG was the real convincing loss that we'd had. But apart from that, you had teams that executed at a really high level. Adelaide kicked 16 goals for example. So, yeah, I draw confidence from that. So I enjoy it. And if the Giants are going to beat us this week, well, they're going to have to put on a serious show. But I think we'll be right. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll go down to Sydney in that cemetery of a damn stadium with that wind tunnel in the middle of the ground, and hopefully get the job done. But let's see what happens. What about you? How are you feeling ahead of this week? What are you feeling around team selection? How did you experience the tribunal, by the way? What did you think of the decision? What did you think of why it took so long? What was actually the deliberation in the end? Whatever's on your mind, share with us in the comments below, and we'll go from there. Go Blues.